Okay, let's do this. What's up, guys? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This is like my 4th time filming this. I am so frustrated, okay? We're really gonna do it this time though. We have to. I'm so done. Like, today, we're gonna be doing all of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I'm gonna share with you guys all of my favorite go-to eyeshadow palettes. I have 5 from the drugstore, 5 high-end. And these are just palettes that I just like run to all the time. The quality is great, and I would recommend these for anybody, for a beginner, for someone who's, you know, into makeup. These are just great palettes to have. Now, do you need all of these? No, that's excessive. I'm excessive. But these are all like good staple palettes to have for your everyday use. Let's get started for the 5 millionth time. So the first one I want to share with you guys, this is from Milani. This is the Pure Passions palette. This is actually the palette that I'm wearing right now. And guys, Milani did that. These are really nice. Now, my usual complaint with like drugstore eyeshadow palettes is that they're chalky as hell. And if you're my shade or darker, you can't do chalky because it just looks like ash. It does. But these, they're not buttery, okay? They're not buttery, but they're pigmented and they don't look ashy. They don't look like chalk on your eye. They blend really well. The shimmers in here, really nice. The mattes, like these mattes right here, especially the darker ones, oh my God, you need to be careful with them. Layer them slowly. You want to build up the color slowly. This is a really nice palette for everyday use if you're into like warm tones. They also have like neutral, like cool tone neutral. Wait. They also have a neutral cool toned palette with like cool toned browns and stuff. So if you're not into the warm tones, they do have that also. But let me tell you guys, this is like an awesome palette to have if you're on a budget. You just want to get something for every day. This is great. The next palette, this is the Wet n Wild Rose in the Air Color Icon eyeshadow palette. This is actually supposed to be a dupe for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. This is a really nice palette. This transition shade right here, this is like my favorite color to use in the crease. And they do come off like powdery, but they're not ashy. They're not chalky. The pigment is there. Now, does it last all day long? Not really. But if you get a good eyeshadow primer, that's what's up. The only thing I wish there were more shimmer shades. There's only like 2 shimmer shades in here, and they're like, meh. But this is a really nice palette. This is, I think, like $5 or $6 at the drugstore. Really nice if you're on a budget. Ugh, before I get that everywhere. The next 2 palettes, these are like my favorite affordable palettes. Now, these aren't necessarily available at every drugstore, but you can get them at Ulta, I think. These are Colourpop palettes. The first one is the Dream Street palette. This is amazing. You have your pops of color, but mostly it's a neutrals palette. And then you have like this like silverish, but it has like a green and brownish. I don't know, it's such a weird color, but it's so pretty. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes, period. I love this palette. These shimmer shades are awesome. Actually, all the shimmer shades in here are like really pigmented. Everything is really pigmented. And this coral color right here, it's like an orangey coral color. You guys. And I barely touched it. Okay. This is a really nice palette. The color arrangement is really nice. The quality is really nice. It blends well. They're pigmented. Colourpop is just, all of their shadows are really nice. Now this palette, this is the Yes Please palette, and this is just so pleasing to look at. This is a really good like spring summer palette, and again, very buttery. The mattes blend well. The shimmer shades are awesome, and the colors, wonderful. Really great palette. This is like one of my favorite palettes like ever. And the yellow in here, yellow is like really hard to do. I just love the colors in there. Okay, and the last eyeshadow palette that I have that's affordable, this is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This is just nice. This is actually like the only Morphe palette that I really like shit my pants over. Don't get me wrong, Morphe is a great brand. It has lots of eyeshadow palettes. You can literally get anything that you're looking for from them. But like, I feel like they're overhyped. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it's good for the price, but the shadows aren't like Anastasia Beverly Hills status. You know what I'm saying? But they're nice. They're good for the price range. Now this is actually a little bit more expensive. I can't remember how much this was. 38 maybe? 35. I can't remember, but this was a little bit more expensive than their normal like 35 pan shadow palettes or whatever. But this is like the only eyeshadow palette you will ever need. If you have this, you really don't need anything else. You have every shade in here imaginable. This tailors to so many skin tones. I think the formula in this palette is actually different than all the other like generic Morphe palettes that they have, like the 35O, the 35N, the P, you know, the whole alphabet, whatever. But this is awesome. This has every color that you will ever need. The formula is really nice. These shadows are buttery. Like these are buttery. They're buttery. The shimmers are really metallic. The mattes are pigmented and they blend really well. And you just have everything. You have everything. Okay, so now for high-end palettes. Okay, so these are palettes that I feel were like worth the money. They were worth the splurge. They're good staple items. If you go and get just like one eyeshadow palette, it should be like one of these. I love these eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so the first one is, this is the Dose of Colors Desi x Katy Friendcation palette. Again, this is a neutrals palette. It's a staple. It has everything you need for an everyday look. But you also have like a few pops of color to really take your look from like day to night. The Dose of Colors eyeshadow formula is really nice. They have like these like 5 pan eyeshadows. They're awesome. Their formula is buttery. It blends really well and they last throughout the day. The shimmers are all extremely pigmented except for this one, but this one is more like a pressed glitter. It's awesome if you just want to put like a wash of glitter on your face. This is a really great palette. The next one, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. This if you have no eyeshadows and you want to splurge on like one high-end eyeshadow palette, it should be this one. This is like the ultimate neutrals, like necessities palette. This is it. If you have nothing else in your collection, go get this. This is literally like all you'll ever need. It has every transition shade that you need. It has, you know, outer corner darkening shades. It has like the perfect everyday shimmers. I think you actually have a couple of formulas here. So you have like these like more sheeny shimmers that are just like a wash of sheen on your eyelids. And then you have like your more glittery ones that are like more metallic and like bam. But this is like the ultimate like neutrals palette. This is the best everyday palette. I love this palette. You have everything you need in here for every day. When I travel with this. This is like one of my favorite palettes. And the Anastasia like eyeshadow formula is like the best. That's like one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas like ever. The next one, this is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe eyeshadow palette volume 1. First of all, I love this palette primarily for the shimmers. The shimmers in this palette are like unreal. They're unreal. I show you. So I'm gonna take La Costa, El Malecón. Oh my God. Okay. Ay, Dios mío. I have no words. I love the formula of these shimmers. And I can like this blue right here, this blue, let me just, I like, oh my God. Like, I love this palette. This is like a wild card palette. This is the palette I reach for when I have somewhere special to go, a special occasion. I want like a different type of look. I want a little bit of color, but you still have like your staple, like warm, neutral shades. And then you're like out of this world metallic colors. I love this palette. The formula is great. The mattes are so buttery, so blendable. I love this palette. And I find myself like, this is a good like supplementary palette. Supplemental? Supplementary. Anyway, this is a good palette to pair with another palette. So if you're wanting to use like these transition shades, but then like one of these shimmers, you know why I say it. Very nice. Okay, I'm covered in glitter. Plus, this is a Latina owned brand and I gotta support my brown girls. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the next one. This one is expensive, okay? But I feel like it's totally worth it. Like, I feel like every makeup lover should experience Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath. And I just feel like, yes, her stuff is expensive. Like, it's expensive. Like, I think the lip glosses are like 30 bucks or something like that. But they're like, everything she makes is like an experience. First of all, this packaging. Let's talk about this packaging, okay? Now, it's kind of bulky. It is. I mean, it's kind of bulky, and it's annoying to travel with because these are so soft, they will break. I treat this with the utmost care. Like, she was expensive, okay? But this formula, you guys, I just like I feel like this is my favorite eyeshadow formula, like ever of anything that I have. It's this and then like Anastasia. You know what I'm saying? This transition shade is just like perfect for everything. It's not too warm and it's not cool at all. It's like my perfect transition shade. And I can pair literally everything in this palette with this one color. I can pair everything else in my entire collection with that one color. And I just feel like, again, it's an experience. This shade right here is like a pressed glitter. I can wear that totally like by itself. This is more like a gold sheen. And I mean, come on now. If you're gonna splurge for Pat McGrath, I really recommend this palette because it does have like your neutral like necessities, but it also has like this green is amazing. This is like a burgundy with like a bright gold shift. You can't see the gold shift. Damn it. But I really recommend this palette. Oh my God, I love this. And if you've never like watched all of the Pat McGrath Instagram videos, like you need to go watch. Like if you want to see these eyeshadows like in action, go to the Pat McGrath Instagram page and watch their like 1 minute videos, like their 1 minute looks. I love them. I love that page. Now the last palette I have, this is like my favorite high-end palette of like all time. This is like of all time. Like this is my favorite palette, period. Like this is the best palette I own. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. You guys, I think this is actually on sale at Ulta for 50% off, and it kind of pisses me off because I paid full price for this. But do you see this color arrangement? You have like your neutrals, and then you have like your warm pops of color, your cool pops of color. You have a black in here. You have some plums. This palette is just so pleasing to look at. I'm pleased. Like, but the formula on here, guys. Okay, so you have like this like fiery shade. This is called a blaze. Like this is just, they're so smooth. They're so pigmented. This is Breakaway. Wait, is it? No, Hell Ride. Yeah. I can't read. But do you see? And then this Drift is like a blackened charcoal with like a purple shift. Oh my God, you guys. This is my favorite palette of all time. Everything in here is like super buttery, super blendable. All the colors are just so like the color payoff. Yes. Anyway, and I love everything in here. This is such a brown girl friendly palette. Literally anybody with any skin tone can use this palette. And it's so versatile. This is like my ultimate palette. This, like, yes. Now that I'm covered in glitter, that's it. Let me know like what your favorite palettes are. What are your staples? You know, what do y'all use? And I also need like some more drugstore recommendations. Let me know what your favorite drugstore eyeshadow palettes are, because I really don't have any. That Milani one though, yes. All right, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe and stay tuned. Anyway, like, oh man, super buddy. I just got it up on my blanket. No. Oh my God, this video is a disaster. Like.